Awesome. So I apologize for the delay. I know that Zoom is acting really weird. So if it's triggering you to watch my lips move on a different time than my voice is coming in, I've even noticed it on my cell phone. I was talking to my husband this afternoon, and you could hear yourself. There was an echo, and a lot of people have been talking about electronics. Like, I know in my area the whole internet was down for a couple of days. It was just, our phones were on SOS, we couldn't dial out. Internet was really wild, like really wildly doing its own thing, and a lot of people were having trouble even getting on to certain, like on Friday night I had a heck of a time trying to record and then to upload, and it's like, what the heck is going on? So I looked into this a little bit because it's really profound and really in our faces. And a lot of what has been talked about is this sort of joining of timelines. So when you think about eclipse portals, it's this really sort of powerful time of kind of rapid change, and things happen very quickly. And they're actually sort of talking about this portal being so powerful and so profound that it's almost like three timelines sort of coming together into one. And so this is kind of wild, because what's being said is that the electronics are actually having a hard time sort of catching up. So a lot of things need to be rebooted. So this is actually a good time for me to, after I'm done this, I was afraid to actually do a reboot on my computer before my session, just because things are so wacky, that I decided to do it after, to just do a full reboot. I thought, oh, well, we'll see if it's actually being goofy and delayed still. But even to try and meet up with people this week at certain times, it was just like these time warps. Like, I was like, I knew I had to do something on Thursday, completely ended up like not doing what I was supposed to end up doing. It was like it was Wednesday all day. It's almost like we're not feeling ourselves. We're not feeling like we're in our own timelines. It's kind of this uncomfortable sort of upheaval kind of a feeling. And that's partially due to these insane solar flares we've been having as well. So if you follow the Schumann resonance and the solar flares and things like that that are going on, the solar flares, it's been like 10 times the levels, 8 times the levels. It's been huge flares happening. And we're also in this eclipse season. So this really wild. We have one more full super moon coming up, right, in October. But what's also happening before that is this sort of end of the eclipse with the new moon, which is actually a micro moon. So it's like the moon goes from being the closest to the furthest to this ring of fire eclipse happening in a week, where we won't actually really see it. You probably, I mean, you remember the eclipse that we had, that full solar eclipse that people were literally kind of freaking out about, right? Getting the glasses, getting out, because a huge part of the world was able to watch it, right? They were able to see it. They were able to witness the power of this solar eclipse happening. I just got big goosebumps. This one is actually, you can only really see it if you're in Argentina. So there's a very small portion of the world that is, I think they're saying like maybe 150,000 people at most will be able to see it. It's not going to be this eclipse is not going to be visible unless you're sort of in that South American region and down in Argentina. Welcome, Jennifer. We're just talking about this ring of fire solar eclipse that is going to be happening in about a week's time, and just how the energy has actually kind of affected us in a way where it's, a lot of people are referring to it as timelines joining, and timeline jumping and quantum leaps because eclipse energy is as a whole something that makes things happen kind of quickly. It can make things sort of feel a little bit intense and chaotic. And so a lot of people have been kind of feeling this intensity and this kind of chaos that's been going on this last couple of weeks. So just joining in with the chat that, yeah, feeling a little unstable. It's funny because I was sort of referring to earlier this week and even last weekend as like existential crisis, kind of like people going lower and feeling lower than they've felt in a really long time. And I saw someone refer to the sun this week as having an existential crisis. And so when the sun has an existential crisis, we have an existential crisis. And the beautiful thing about this Libra energy, welcome Samara, welcome everybody. And I see you guys in the chat. It's this, like, this week has been like being zapped. And yeah, Heather even felt that. Usually a morning person, me too. But like it takes almost till mid-afternoon for us to even sort of be able to feel like we can function in the world. There's been a few days where people, I always, in eclipse time, I kind of feel like you wake up and you just don't want to adult. It's like, nope, nope, I'm not doing this today. This is just simply too much. It is too intense. I just can't deal with today. And so that's one of the things that we're going to talk about today is how to kind of navigate through this energy, because the beautiful thing about, especially about the Libra energy, the beautiful thing about eclipses, the beautiful thing about equinoxes is it's all meant to create balance. And now this can be really annoying to hear or to try and receive when we're in a space where we're not feeling ourselves, where we're like, feeling lower than low, feeling like we were sort of set on a path, and all of a sudden it's like, I don't think I want to do this anymore. This is that Libra energy of like, really exploring those paths. And I really feel like when we're feeling that intensity, that's because our soul, our higher version of us, the super conscious part of us, this higher timeline, this higher version, is feeling different than we are. It's not judging us. It's not feeling like we're not enough. It's not feeling that we're not worthy of doing whatever it is that we've been planning on doing. It's not feeling like we can't do something. It's not feeling like we're too much. It's not feeling like we're not enough. It's not feeling like it's our soul is not feeling that way. So when we are feeling off, when we're not feeling in joy, when we're feeling in victim, and we're feeling in grief, and we're feeling in fear, and we're getting stuck in that old unconscious stuff, that is what is actually being aided by Neptune to kind of come in and dissolve right now. Neptune sort of swoops in and embraces us and helps us dissolve that ego. So this is about dissolving really old, stuck patterns, those patterns that have been kind of in our field, unbeknownst but beknownst all at the same time. It's like we've been kind of dealing with it. But have you ever noticed that for things to change, sometimes they have to get really bad? This is eclipse energy. This is, I've kind of, it's like your higher self has been saying, I've been giving you some really great ideas, but you're not doing anything fun. So you can't get into this level of awareness of hearing what I'm trying to tell you. So instead, I'm going to show you just how difficult it is when you choose this. So stop choosing it. It's like this talk that it almost has with us. It's like we become aware. We become, the beautiful thing is being the observer, not being reactive, not being emotional, but being able to step into that observer and look at it from a point of view. So we had a good session on Wednesday this week talking a lot about useful and unuseful beliefs. So looking at, really examining from the observer, giving yourself that opportunity to not just be pushing forward and forcing yourself to do things, but to actually take some time to really be able to dial in, because there's something that we're missing. There's something that we're not doing. There's something that our body, mind, and soul is asking for balance. And we're still so busy worrying about, what we always have, how everybody else is everybody else happy, is everybody else taken care of, does everybody love me, blah, 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 instead of really tuning in to what it is that we need and want. And this is really what this opportunity, this little window gives us. This 2024 sort of end of last quarter coming into the year is going to be finally not so intense. These big, this is probably one of the last biggest kind of things that we're going to have. There's one more full moon that's going to be really good about purging and things like this, but this is to give us the clarity to really be able to see, right? I love that. And isn't it beautiful how when we write things out, it's like, yeah, no, that's our words are creating it, our thoughts about it are creating it. And this is why it's so important right now to be in balance and to be aligned, because our manifestation power is at its peak. It is amplified. It's like it has the burner is on and we're cooking, and if we are not tuning in to the right frequency, we know how quickly things can manifest in a way that we don't want. We know this is where we get to kind of take our power back and to be able to actually know that this energy, it almost makes us want to have it right now. But what it's actually preparing us for is what we've been ready for. And instead of beating ourselves up about being ready for it or being in the place where we think we should be or being further along because we think we should be, it feels like right now is the time to be able to actually have a little grace with ourselves, have a little compassion, sort of dial into some of the true lessons that we've been learning over the last little while, like actually being able to make some plans moving forward. So that's something that we're going to do. And I love that you wrote abundance in there, because this is what this next sort of week is going to be leading us into the next few months of true abundance. We don't feel like we want abundance unless we're actually really ready for abundance. And this is it, right? We think that we're clear. We think that we really want something. But if we really want abundance, but we're focused on the fact that we don't have enough of it, it's so easy to do. It's so easy to tell those stories. Like, oh, I don't have enough for this, and this bill is coming in, and I'm not gonna. This is building that real estate escrow in the manifestations that we don't want, right? This is focusing more on what we don't have and the lack thereof. And this is how powerful this energy is right now, that it is going to bring us exactly what we are focusing on. So if we're going to pay attention to what we're focusing on for 2 weeks of our life, I would really encourage it to be this week and next week, because we're so divinely guided to be able to make these choices because we are ready. These clear choices. If things aren't moving in one direction or the other, it's generally literally because we're having two sort of trains of thoughts about it, where I want this but I can't, da 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 da, I want this, I da 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 da, I really want this but I don't have enough of it, I really want. We're not sort of choosing and holding. And so what we're going to do tonight is actually kind of look at some of the different ways that we can set ourselves up to just really dial into this energy. And I know I talk a lot about breath work and increasing energy in our bodies. But some of the things that I really have found helpful this week have been the breath work um, in simply moving energy through the body, because it can feel pretty stuck. And what we need to do is disconnect from a negative thought. So it's not that we can't always just go from feeling in fear to feeling pure joy and gratitude. That's when I said it's annoying if someone's telling you, well, you're manifesting this. It's like, yeah, well, you know what you can do with your. We don't have to necessarily switch it from, how I was talking earlier about maybe a thought that isn't as useful. We can tap into our observer. We can sort of look at something from a grander scale, really looking at it almost as if we were helping ourselves as a friend, and saying, you know, that belief around that, even just feeling in, say, lack of abundance, that feeling in and around that, is that a useful thought? Is that going to help me manifest is that going to tune me into the right radio station that I want to be tuned into, right? And so you get to actually choose. No, I think that this would be much more beneficial for me. Sometimes though, right, it is a little hard to do that, because I'm sure we've all been there where so yeah, Wim Hof breath work, creating energy. And I'm not surprised that you're attracted to Wim Hof right now, because that's all about increasing energy and flow through the body. So if I could recommend just doing a few little things, right? That would be to actually do some breath through the nose, in and out of the nose, nice quick breaths, like to a song. Do it for 3-4 minutes. By tuning into your breath, doing something very, very simple, like breathing in through your nose and out through your nose, you're actually disconnecting from negative thoughts. So all of a sudden, any of those negative thoughts that you were having, gone, disconnected, let go. If you were to do a kriya, like the I was talking about this week, very simple. You take your fingers, so right, your thumb and your first finger is sa, second finger is ta, third finger is na, ma, and you just chant. You just sit there with your palms up, your hands on your lap, sit on a cushion, sit against a wall if you want, and just chant to yourself. Satanama, sata. You do that for a minute. There is no negative thought happening. You are disconnected. You are then able to reconnect sort of more in a directed way, in an inspired way, rather than having the monkey mind, because this is what happens when we are in fear, when we're in a place where we don't want to be. That monkey mind will take us all sorts of places, and we know this, right? We know this. So yeah, it's gone. Poof, just like that. Just by doing a little bit of chanting, sing to a happy song that you like, dance for a few minutes. I love doing a little bit of energy work, breath work, moving the energy through my body. So you literally put your elbows in the air and your hands on your shoulders. You put your fingers in the front and your thumbs on the back of your shoulders. You bring them up into the air. You turn to the left, you breathe in. You turn to the right, you breathe out. And you just sit and you do it as quickly as you want. You start moving that energy through your body. It's very, very difficult to be able to stay funky and disconnected when we're allowing that breath to flow through the body, right? And not to mention, that's right. So for each finger, sa is the word for the first finger, and they all mean something different. Basically, they all mean the different elements. So what you're doing is bringing in the different elements. So even for air, right? You're using the air. You're utilizing that to be able to move energy through your body. So sa is the first finger, ta is the second finger, na is the ring finger, and ma is the little finger. And I mean, really, you can chant anything. Those particular words are very good for helping the vagus nerve open up, in that vagal regulation that you want for your nervous system. If your nervous system is in fight or flight, because it probably, if you've been surviving this week, is in fight or flight. So allowing that to open up the throat chakra. I think it was that Heather typing that in. Yeah, that's or Margie, sorry, Heather. Yeah, thank you. The vibration of just humming. All you have to do is hum or chant any word. You can really chant pretty much anything. You can just chant a sound. What you want to do is feel it resonate through your skull. You want to feel your skull almost vibrate as you allow that vagus nerve to sort of open up and reset itself, so that your whole nervous system can reset itself. So I view this. Okay, not only did we have the um, the lunar eclipse, then we had equinox, which is all about this like grand balancing. So to be able to really move and grow forward, on this spiritual path, one of the things that we have to do is be able to let things go. And this time has been all about what we're ready to let go of. And some of that is very uncomfortable. So there's old parts of us that, want to hang on. There's old beliefs that have been coming up. There's old Akashic stuff. There's old DNA, past life, all sorts of stuff that's not even ours, that we've been carrying around, lessons that we've had, such hard lessons, and learned so many things that are just kind of being pushed at us like waves to just, be able to kind of take over and over again. You get tired. You get really tired. And this is where we tend to want to shut down and overindulge. So it's really wild. Although I've been talking so much about this energy this week, in being so supportive in making new habits and new patterns and all this kind of stuff, people are also calling me going like, okay, I know that I'm being supported to make good plans right now, but I'm eating like a clown. Or I'm like, I always love that term. I'm, like I know the choices that I have to make. And this is again where we get to see this. Like, I am so powerful. I can make these choices to actually really create this if I want it bad enough, if I want it, if I'm ready for it. And it's all about divine timing right now. And I feel like this is the point that we've been ready for. It's like I'm actually ready. I'm sick of waiting for the change. I'm ready to make a change. So if you guys can, I'd love it if you grab a piece of paper. If you are out and you are getting a piece of paper and a pen, something else I'd love you to grab is if you have a scent, an herb or an essential oil, or a nice smelly candle, or some sage or something that is important to you. I have my black spruce oil. It's funny. I thought I lost this guy, but apparently it's right here. Talk about timelines. Okay. Like deja vu's, finding stuff that you thought you lost, running into people, hearing from people. I don't know if this has been happening to you guys, but it's been like really wild. And yeah, absolutely. If you're driving, just sort of, you can visualize it, do it in your head. But the writing down of it is like so masterful. So I really encourage you to do some work with this. Even, when you get home, kind of just grab a piece of paper. If you guys aren't journaling right now, this is the week to do it, because a thought will come in and within 14 seconds it's gone. And it's gone. Like, you have some of these really awesome ideas when we're in sort of a, we're just driving or kind of in an unconscious state or feeling good about something, out just enjoying ourselves. We have this thought, this whatever, but it can be gone in 14 seconds. So if we can use the notes in our phone, if we can really connect and actually start writing this stuff and make it matter. I always say, put it to matter, put the pen to paper, so that you can actually go back and look on this. The messages that are coming through are profound. Not only are we leading into October, which is a very thin veiled month, being right in these eclipses right now, the veil is like, and with Neptune, even where she is right now, or he is, sorry, we have this really profound intuitive connection, this like direct messages. It's like we can be DM'd by the universe right now. And it's actually, for some people, happening. My body's releasing just saying this. So if you can, grab a pen and paper and grab an essential oil, because I love just using my oils to anchor in to the creation that I want to make, to try and sort of add that external influence to be able to really trigger my mind right away into creation mode, sort of step over having to go into acceptance and da da da, moving up the vibrational scale, but actually just taking something like my black spruce and jumping up to like 600, or it's 555 or something like that hertz, just, having that sort of tool. Knowing that all these tools are inside of us, but having those external anchors can sometimes be really, really powerful. And this week I've been working with a different oil, just anchoring in. So tonight I'm going to use some black spruce just for raising my vibration here and just allowing myself. So what I do is I put a drop on my hand and I just literally cup my hands around my nose and my mouth. And you just breathe it in for like 30 seconds. Oh my gosh. And you just feel your whole body start to shift and relax. And I want you guys to just start thinking about some of the ways. Hi, buddy. I've got a visitor now. Hi. Whenever I step into the field, often I have this little squishy visitor that comes up. So she may hop up here. I apologize if she does. Frequency is rose. Rose is one of the highest frequency oils that you can get. From the studying that I have done, the frequency of rose is known to be somewhere around 888, which is huge, massive. And I like that you ask about rose right now, because this this session even is going to help us kind of blow open that heart chakra a little bit. The heart chakra has been sort of the one that's been taking the waves that have been coming at us, and there's some walls around this heart chakra that are kind of ready to be blown open tonight. So if you happen to have rose, by all means use that. I know the oils I usually use are doTERRA, and the rose is incredibly expensive, but there's this other blend, it's called Passion, that I have here that I'm actually going to put on, that has rose in it, so I can kind of cheat around that whole, I don't know, $500 bottle of oil or whatever it is. You can even use a rose scented candle. I actually have some roses upstairs. If you have some fresh flowers, rip the heads off, throw them in your bathtub. Do some sort of cleansing, some grounding, especially over this week. So I want you to think about the reignition, the fire, the cleansing. We're going to do a good meditation right away where we are going to yeah, that heart's been feeling it. And you know who else has been feeling it? If you have some friends, or if this is you in the realms of your charts. So if you're thinking as far as your charts go, are Pisces people right now, are Aries people right now, are Virgos. So this is sun, moon, rising, any sort of anywhere these are in your chart. And I do encourage you to look up in your chart just where Libra is at right now, where we have a whole lot of planets sort of piling into certain areas. Look at your chart, because it will give you a little bit more insight as to what exactly the house is that you're dealing with the most. But the Pisces, our poor Virgos, our Aries, our Libras, and our Geminis, they're feeling it. They are feeling it. So hug a brother, hug a sister if you know these are their signs. If this is you, take some extra hugs, because we're going through it. Like, there's been some massive stuff, because we're meant for big things. There's some really big shifts about to happen, ready to happen. And if we can just not get in our own way, which is the lesson that we have been here to learn, and we've been able to sort of see, now we can kind of go up into the observer space and not be judging ourselves, not allow ourselves to get sucked into that unconscious I love it, stepping into that unconscious egoic agenda. Like I say, it's being dissolved right now, which is kind of painful. it's not a comfortable place to be. So just know that I'm holding space for all of us, and this it's going to be so worth it. Like, it really is going to be so worth it. I think what it all comes down to, and I've had this word come in a lot this week, is trust. We learn all this stuff, we know all this stuff, we have so much knowledge, love, everything inside of us. If we could just bloody well chill out and trust that it's going to happen. We know this, like step 1, 2, 3, right? Esther Hicks always talks about, you ask, you put it out there, it's coming. Now receive it. This is the one stopping point where we don't let ourselves. And it's not fun to go in and look at why we aren't receiving it sometimes, because it's not something that we ever intended to run our lives by, but it's just stuff that's not serving us anymore, not beating us up at all, but just really stuff that we are ready to truly let go of. So we're going to do a big disconnection. A big disconnection in our meditation tonight, and just really let Neptune and Venus do a lot of that dissolving. And I feel like, I got such big, like my goosebumps, or I have goosebumps right now. I really felt all the archangels coming in with the elements and really supporting us. And that's part of this time too. It's like we have some pretty, like when I talk about DMs, like we're pretty directly connected to our archangels right now. So I'm not surprised that they've been coming in. And even last week I was doing a lot of dragon stuff. And that is in China, that's eclipses are huge manifestation times, and dragon energy is huge, and I didn't even really realize that. I just knew they were coming in and didn't really understand why, but it all came to, I have figured it all out this week. It's like, oh, that makes sense. Oh, that makes sense. Eclipses are so powerful for meditation. That's really why I wasn't so focused on doing full moon manifestation rituals, or even with this new moon coming up. I'm not saying we have to do a new moon ritual per se, but this whole eclipse energy, this is really truly about pure manifestation. So if there's things that will remind you to stay grounded and to stay focused, by all means do them. Use our elements, right? The earth element. Think about Archangel Raphael and the earth and the stones. I'm wearing lots of rocks on my bra again. I had to actually take them out just because they were starting to poke me. There's just ways to kind of incorporate this into your day. And so this is what I want us to use our pen and paper for right now. I want you to think right now. I want you to just take sort of a nice deep breath, and I want you to just become the observer, sort of look at where it is that you want to go in your, let's think about diet and exercise regime. Okay. Let's just dive on in. Let's just dive on into our health, on our vitality, right? Let's just kind of dive on in there. Oh, I love it. That's awesome. Um, let's dive on into our observer. If we were to kind of know all the things that we know, think about your hormones, think about the foods that just feel good to you right now, think about exercise, stretching, moving. I want you to just kind of embrace your sort of, I don't want to call it diet, but the things that you're letting in your body. This is, again, this time we're sort of we're kind of drawn right now to like spiritual bypass and indulgence, just because it's kind of like a lot. It's like, no, I need a drink, actually, is what I need. I don't need to meditate. I need a drink. This is kind of the energy right now, right? So let's dive into, what really does feel good for us. Would that be a useful thought, a useful belief, a useful choice? What would be a little bit more useful? What would feel good for you? And I want you to write 3 things down. I want you to write 3 things down that you could start, or maybe reignite, or instill into your diet and exercise regime, right? Like your actual, what you're putting into your body. This could even be what you are allowing in um, to your nervous system, right? Like if it could be internet, right? It could be your phone, it could be blue light, it could be sleep, it could be anything around your health and your vitality. I want you to write down a few things. And this is the beautiful thing, just being the observer, just kind of floating up above and just like, if I was to make a plan for Jackie, Samara, Jennifer, whoever is on the call, right? If I was just to make a plan for you, what would be probably the top 3 things that you could do that would really help you reignite, really set this intention of moving forward? Because if we can keep it up for even next week, it's going to already set those neural pathways into play, right? So what could you do for that? Just write a few things down. And now I want you to think about your personal development. Now this is being happy, this is being expanded, right? So this is thinking classes maybe that you've signed up for that are still in your inbox that you've just needed the time to, maybe you could find that hour to listen to that webinar. Maybe there is something that you had planned on doing. Maybe it was maybe it was a workshop that you planned on actually doing for someone. Maybe it was something that um, you were going to take, something that you felt inspired. Maybe you've just been feeling like, I really want to have an online business. I want to learn more about AI. I want you to dial in as the observer, stepping above your timeline, just kind of looking at your life right now within personal development. Maybe it's reading a book. Maybe it's you bought a book and you just haven't read it yet, and you just know you were inspired to write to buy that book. Maybe it's you're just ready to actually read it. That's those inspired messages, right? Those, and they're just coming through so clearly if we listen to them. And I love how people, when I'm writing with them, I kind of like having conversations with writing, because I can read back and I can see all the amazing insights they have. They're like, yeah, maybe I need to do this. And it's like, yes, this is it. This is exactly what you need to do. Now, within that, making a space to kind of be able to listen to your soul, to actually learn from your soul. I've noticed that, one of my things is I always say yes to too much, make myself too busy. So I don't have time. I do the spiritual bypass. I do the work on everyone else, and then I don't do it on myself, and then wind up feeling in the same spot that I was. And it was like purely blatant. And I was like, oh, there I go again. I'm totally doing it. But it's slightly different. And I'm the observer. I'm not just like, oh, it's so out of control. It's very I'm managing the emotions and the balance, and it's feeling really good, and I'm feeling inspired, and I have the energy, and I'm excited to come on and do these little webinars, just sort of allowing some of that energy to be spread, because I have enough of it, not that I'm being drained and exhausted. So I want you to think about some times when you can actually make some space for yourself to really listen and learn, whether it's, write this down. Maybe it's the bath at night. Maybe it's, you've just known that you've been needing to take a 10-minute walk every day. Maybe you really want to start to try and do some chanting or some breath work. Maybe it's something as simple as that. Write down your inspired ideas. They are so powerful right now, and they are coming through. So I really can't tell you enough to write things down. And last but not least is truly trusting, literally trusting that if you are in a space where you are in joy, where you are feeling peaceful, where you are doing the things that you love, when you're allowing some of this what we're wanting to create, right? This joy, this peace, this harmony, this abundance, when you're actually experiencing that, when you're actually allowing that, when you're actually trusting that it's going to happen, staying in the creation of that, versus just noticing, not beating ourselves up about it because we know better. It's literally being able to make that choice. This thought is not useful to me. It is not helping me. How can I change it into a little bit more of a useful thought? How can I change it into a little bit more of a supportive thought that's going to bring me where I'm going? How do I want to be looking at this just from the observer? And it's almost easy, it's much easier said than done, but it becomes easier as we can kind of shift, because we're going to shift out of this funky monkey, like, what the fuck am I doing kind of energy. Like, it's been crazy. It is really, it's shaken things up, because there was some stuff that was ready to be shaken up that we've been hanging on to and carrying with us. And I don't think we've probably ever felt so strongly that we are ready to shift, to shift, to shift, to grow, to expand, to spread our light, to, and this is happening collectively, right? Like, we could just go and go, but I want to meditate with you guys for a little bit. I want to do this disconnection. I want to be able to really help us call in all of our helpers right now and just truly clear out some of this stuff that we're ready to disconnect from, some of this stuff that we're ready to dissolve, that just has been feeling heavy, and just truly letting it go tonight, because this is such a profound time. There's a big comet that's happening tonight. There's we have a really big sort of meteor shower coming up in the next week. So it's just going to help to continue to loosen cords and to untie old stories. So we're just going to let that magic work instead of the I'll show you how bad it can be, so you know what you really don't want kind of energy that the eclipses hold. So with that, I want you to bring into your mind what it is that you are really ready to create. Maybe it's abundance. Maybe it's abundance of love. Maybe it's abundance of friends. Maybe it's abundance of joy. Maybe it's abundance of strength and support from your body. Maybe it's abundance of health and vitality. Maybe it's, just, I'm just feeling this abundance just starting to sort of wash all over us. And isn't it true that maybe we are kind of ready for this? That maybe those self-worth upgrades, those self-love upgrades that have been happening over these last few months, there might be a little bit of a bump in the road, but maybe, just maybe, we're truly ready. And you know what? If we're not, we will be. And the timing is divine, and we'll always be ready to receive that. And so I want you to now just close your eyes, get as comfortable as you can. I'm just going to send us some bioenergy work here. It's just going straight to the heart. My hands are just like, they feel like laser beams right now. So if you're ready to just receive this beautiful treatment today, this beautiful session, this beautiful energy exchange, just feel a yes come down through your body, and just allow me to connect with you as we just step into the field together and into creation mode, as we allow the beautiful energy of what a ring of fire solar eclipse would look like a moon that just covers the sun ever so slightly, creates this point zero, this 0 point where the moon is completely covered, and it lasts about maybe 8 minutes at the most, where there's this pause. And so October 2nd, there's going to be this pause, this rebalancing point, this point where the moon is covering about just under 90% of the sun. And all you'll see is this ring of fire. I just want you to imagine this beautiful ring of fire in the sky. Like I say, we won't be able to see it, but we'll be able to feel it. We'll be able to feel that pause of energy as the earth allows us to reset our timelines to the one that we choose. There's 3 that are sort of joining in right now. They've been sort of jumping and joining and allowing us to incorporate our new life's vision down this path. And I want you to imagine now that you can feel your feet on the ground, and you can feel the breath in your body. And just notice that it feels like you can feel those fall leaves, that autumn equinox, that balance point that just came, that allowed those trees to release those leaves that they didn't need to hang on to anymore. They served their purpose. They were beautiful for a time. But if they stayed on, they would just rot. They would just cause trouble, fungus on the tree. So choose to see the tree now. Literally release the leaves, and imagine the leaves now falling in front of you on the ground. Notice the colors of the leaves falling off the tree. Notice what they may smell like, the fall leaves. Notice what they may sound like as they crunch under your feet as you're just walking along this beautiful path. Feeling that feeling of leaves crunching, noticing all the colors, noticing what it sounds like. I want you to notice any other sounds you might hear on this path right now, too. I just heard an owl. Perhaps there's a specific bird or animal that you're hearing. Maybe there's even a stream. I want you to imagine that you can hear some water. It's like you can hear some waves just off in the distance a little bit, and I want you to continue walking along this path until you reach an open beach. An open beach where all of the elements are. And I want you to notice one of the first things that you can see is this beautiful little spot where there's a fire pit that already has a fire going. It's the most warming and inviting little fire that you've ever seen. These fall evenings get cool. And so you find yourself walking over to this fire pit, and all around it there's different seats. There's big trees to sit on, there's rocks, there's chairs. I just want you to pick the most comfortable chair, the chair that's best suited to you, and go down and sit right beside the fire. And as you sit by the fire, I want you to imagine connecting with Archangel Michael and his gorgeous white sword of light. Let's ask Archangel Michael to join us sitting by this fire right now. Archangel Michael's directly connected to the south node, to healing, to protecting, to burning away, purifying, protecting, and cleansing any of the energies that are around you right now, any of the old egoic stories that have been floating around. I want you to imagine Archangel Michael now taking his sword and coming all around you, walking around you in a circle, and using his sword to now cut and clear any of those cords that are hanging on and connected to resistance into creating what you really want. Cutting any of those old stories, any of those old versions of you, anything that's ready to be healed, disconnected, and truly dissolved at this time. Just allow him to use his sword, moving all around your energy body, your physical body. Allow him to use his sword to just trace around areas of your body that hold on to pain, that hold on to anger, that hold on to fear. Allowing truth and justice and strength and courage to start replacing any of those cords that have been cut. It's like it's now able to fill your cup with strength, with power, with courage, just feeling that courage filling through your whole body. And now I want you to notice Archangel Raphael, the element of air. I want you to feel the breeze on the back of your neck. I want you to feel the wind blowing your hair. I want you to listen as you can hear the air moving the water, moving the waves. I want you to connect and ask Archangel Raphael to come and join you. He's the angel of healing the physical body, healing the emotional body. When we need assistance with health and guidance, Archangel Raphael is the angel that will come in and help us instill air, oxygen, breath into our life, into our bodies, into our energy fields, aiding in communication, allowing us to even speak better to ourselves, to others, being conscious of our words, allowing that air, that archangel to come down and envelop you in purple light. Feeling that purple light from Archangel Raphael coming in, having Saint Germain now coming in too with that violet light, all this violet coming in and allowing that heart chakra to start to open up just a little bit. Moving up into the throat chakra and into the third eye. That purple color is starting to heal through the pineal gland, through the nervous system, through the upper body, allowing that crown chakra to even open up a little bit. Releasing headaches, releasing the pain that's been pressurized up in the head over the last week or two, just allowing that to disperse with the air. And I want you to tap into your breath right now to move some of this energy through your body. So imagine breathing up through your feet, drawing the air up through your feet, all the way up through your knees, your hips, your solar plexus. And as it reaches the belly, I want you to imagine it shooting out of the top of your head like a fountain, like a beautiful purple fountain. Pushing that beautiful light up out of the top of your head with every breath out. Feeling that beautiful violet and purple light start cleansing those 3 chakras at the top of your body. And now coming down into the heart as we ask Archangel Uriel to come in with the element of earth. Coming in from the north, pointing us in the direction of wisdom and enlightenment, illumination, guiding our crown towards the insight and the understanding that we need, allowing us to receive those messages, asking Archangel Uriel to assist us with receiving those messages, those healing, beautiful messages, those insights, allowing us to trust, allowing us to ground in, allowing us to choose power. And now tapping into the direction from the west and the element of water, and asking that Archangel Gabriel come and join us in this healing journey, helping us to wash away any of those old emotions we've been hanging on to, any of those old beliefs, truly cleansing us, purifying us, increasing our flow of life, increasing our flow of life energy, allowing for clarity, allowing for nurturing, allowing for reflection, the gentleness of the west and the water just embracing us. Imagine that water washing away your whole field all around you, your energetic field, your radiant lines, your meridians, the physical body. Archangel Gabriel just literally washing you, pouring water over you, cleansing you. And as you sit there, I want you to imagine that you are underneath a solar eclipse. This new moon is going to pause in front of the sun for a reflection of time, where everything is on pause, where you get a true reset, where you get a true rebalancing, where you get to purge any of those energies that are no longer serving you. You get to purge any of those old beliefs. You're truly ready to let some of these old beliefs go. You're truly ready to let in happiness. You're truly feeling worthy of love, of abundance. You're ready. You've been ready to be ready. And ask for the divine guidance in what you are truly ready in. Ask for the guidance to know, the guidance to have these insights, the guidance to receive these messages. And as these eclipses happen with the moon just covering the sun, I want you to imagine now that Neptune and Venus are coming in, they're coming closer, they're drawing closer to your body. It's almost like you can feel them enveloping around you as they go through and they dissolve any of the other patterns, any of the old energies, the old DNA, the family history. Anything in the records that's ready to be shifted, changed, let go for this higher path forward, for this true destination, for this true journey in experiencing this. Allow the feeling of a planet coming over top of you, diffusing every single cell in your body, shaking it up, vibrating so that it can actually dissolve any of those old egoic patterns, the patterns of who you thought you were, the patterns of who others thought you were, truly melding these timelines into where your creation is going. To truly allow yourself to choose to allow yourself to receive love, to choose to allow yourself to trust in the divine and the divine timing, to choose that you're meant to be here for something bigger, to choose to create peace and abundance and love and as much of what you want to create into your life right now. And just ask to be shown by these archangels, by Saint Germain, by these planets that are doing this dissolving work in the patterns right now. Ask to be shown what it is you feel like you want to create more of in your life. Ask for this clarity. Feeling into that now, we're just going to ground all this into the matrix of the universe. And I want you to just feel yourself sitting by this fire, feeling the elements, feeling the connection to these angels as the planets continue to do their dissolving work. And I want you to feel inside of your chest, inside of your heart, inside of that wall that you've put up to protect yourself. I want you to feel if you would be okay with allowing some of that heart wall to break away a little bit, to dissolve, allow the planetary energies of Neptune and Venus to dissolve some of that pain around the heart, some of that protection. Just a little piece of the wall, just asking your body to heal, transmute, cleanse, and clear anything that it's ready to right now. Ask for help from all of your archangels, from the planets, from our soul guides, from our soul families, to help you continue to dissolve these patterns that are no longer serving, just creating a beautiful energy of moving forward. Just dissolving anything else in the field. And when you're ready, you can come back into your own body. You can wiggle your toes in the sand. You can feel what it feels like to be completely connected. Just feel so peaceful, so grounded. And so with that, I would love to just tell you guys to drink as much water as you can tonight. Maybe add a little pinch of sea salt into it. Light a candle. Do a little intention setting. Do a little disconnecting. Do a little kriya. Do a little stretching. Do a little breath work. Shaman work is big right now. Like, if you see something that is shaman meditation, blah, 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 you'll probably find that really powerful right now. There's some shaman medicine that's coming in. There's so much more going on in the planetary alignments too, in medicine women type of energy, but really in all of it, what it comes down to is letting go, is stopping trying to control the things we cannot control. And you'll see this right now in people. They're losing it because they can't talk, they can't even go there. They're so about the things they can't control. Those are the ones that are talking all about politics and how the world's falling apart and how they're staying in this, this fear based. Those are the true signs of not doing their work. And one thing that has come up this week is people are showing their true colors. I have heard that so many times this week. So take it for its face value. If people are showing you their true colors, let that be a sign that, maybe this relationship is ready for a little shift, or there's just now, right? Be that observer. We are more powerful than we even realize. If we can rise above and not be trapped inside, we can see things from such a higher point of view. And that is emotional mastery, is being able to tap into that higher observer. So tap into that, because you guys are all so capable and so worthy and so beautiful and so fabulous. And I just love you all so much for being here. Thank you so much. I will put this replay in my Magnetic Soul life coaching group, as well as our inner circle. So if you're looking for the replay and you can't find it, let me know. Happy to send it to you, because you can do this all the way up to October 4th if you want, even a couple of days after that eclipse. Don't forget, we're going to have that pause in time. So just allow that to do a little resetting over and over, because there's some stuff we've been working on and it's ready to shift. So let's let it go. Let's it was funny. I had to DJ a social the other night, and it had some kids, and she wanted to play Let It Go. And I was like, yeah, we're playing Let It Go. So I actually play Let It Go at a wedding. So it was so funny. That song just came into my head. Anyways, I'm going to stop babbling. Love you guys so much. Have an amazing weekend, and we shall see you next week. I'm so glad you were all here. Thanks, everyone, for the awesome chats. Take care, everybody. Have a great weekend. Bye.